Alright, let's get started. Let's start a campaign. And we are going to start at the very beginning, and I know there's it seems a little dry at the very beginning. There's not a ton of action, but we're going to start this from the get-go. So each side looks like they have. I'm going to play as the Union. Each side looks like they have some. What was the policies? They choose up to 3 policies. You can go the historic route, or you can even set to random, which is interesting. Or you can pick yourself. I think I'm actually going to try random. Alright, so we have support abolitionism. Official support for the hardline abolitionists will make sure that any southern sympathies within the northern states will be kept in check. Southern support in all northern states greatly decreased. So, with this strategy, it might make the neutral states much more harder to retain. Because that was the big worry from Lincoln in the real war was he couldn't outright at the beginning support the abolitionist movement because he feared that the neutral states would go to the Confederacy. So he had to kind of tongue-in-cheek any talk about abolition. His primary goal in the beginning of the war was to preserve the Union. That was his foremost goal. So, but we're going to stick with the random start. So we're going to keep with abolitionism, even though it might jeopardize relations with the neutral states. We have a breadbasket, a policy for America to feed the world. Support in free states is increased. All farms will start the campaign with higher upgrade level, and relations with Europeans is greatly increased. So that's good to prevent European intervention. We also have Union Pacific Railroad. The font on here, I cannot figure out how to get bigger right now in the options. Comes up really tiny on my, and I don't have the biggest computer monitor, but it's still like a 23-inch screen, so it's not small either. So maybe that's something that hopefully will be addressed, and I don't need a magnifying glass to read the tooltips here. Support the construction of the Union Pacific Railroad connecting the Atlantic and Pacific coasts will increase trade with the western states. The game will start with the Union Pacific Railroad built and the Union controlling trade to the Pacific coast. Alright, both sides start with 2,000 size and army. Confederates slightly better morale. Union morale of 90. Buchanan is still president at the beginning of the game. Lincoln has not been inaugurated. We'll leave aggressiveness at a 9. Can you go higher? Oh, it's 1 times. I thought that was a 9 in Roman numerals. How aggressive? Okay, up to 5. Let's go at 2, since this is a first playthrough. Alright. 18, okay, the Abolitionist Movement. December 59, hardline abolitionists, which were, I believe, the radical Republican wing of the Republican Party at that time. They were considered radicals for abolitionism. Hardline abolitionists gain political support from the Republicans. This encourages people to set against slavery. Following John Brown's failed raid, Harper's Ferry and his execution for treason, the movement gains momentum, and Southern sympathies in the northern states are greatly reduced. Throughout the 1850s, Northern policies support agricultural migration to the Midwest. Farms expand. There are significant surplus of crops. And
this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free.
And shoot at each other. Just couldn't. No, you can't even imagine that stuff today. Okay, all right, to the game. So there are some tool tips here. They have a campaign user interface. User interface offers you tool tips to explain, which is good. Tool tips are very good in games. Breakdown of the campaign, but we're going to get started like most people. See, that's one thing though, is I can't. One thing I wish is there automatic, like, if I right click nothing happens. I just want to get rid of this field book and it won't disappear. I don't know if I start it. Nope. If I hit the map. Nope. Okay, right click got rid of the that. Got rid of the that newspaper article, which I didn't get a chance to read. But can I just exit out of here? Introduction. Da da da. Okay, there we go. One thing I did notice right away is, so you have up top, you have different information screens, menu screens here. I think this looks really cool. This policies screen right here, almost like a tech tree type of thing. It looks really interesting. Looks like something that's going to be really cool to explore. But I'm very used to games where if I like right click here or right click on the menu screen, it will disappear. But if you just click back on the menu up top here, you can get rid of it. That was the one thing I discovered earlier today when I played for very briefly for like 10 minutes. The only other thing too that I hope they will address is if I let's say I want to scroll to the right and I'm not in the right spot, and sorry if I just made anyone dizzy and sick, but you gotta hit, like, if you're just off a little bit, it rotates it, which is a cool feature in itself, but they need to just expand the left right area. If I really want to rotate, I'm gonna go like that. Alright, so it is February 23rd, 1861. That's when the game starts. There is this screen over here, kind of a quick reference of, and it's very, and I don't know if I'm not looking in the settings properly, but the font here is extremely small on my screen. But this shows you all the garrisons right now and how many men are in those garrisons. Let's take a look at map information settings. We can show supply lines if we want, which is cool, especially if supply is a big feature in this game. Telegraph lines. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I wonder what impact they have on the game. Map icons. Let's look at the menu options. Again, I'm looking for something to affect this font size? Historical fonts, will that change it? Nope, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, I can kind of make out. Unfortunately, looking at the TV screen, it looks very, very tiny. Military. So I can scroll through the different fort garrisons right here. And one thing I liked right off the bat from just looking at the videos that are already out there, is the order of battle, or OOB, screens, and the organization of it, where I can click on there, and add infantry, artillery, cavalry to those or army organizations or garrison organizations. I think that's pretty cool. This gives me a quick reference to the fleets, the home squadron, ships that are in harbor, and then an officer screen, so I can easily find some officers. I hope they do update portraits, and even if they do generic portraits for people that they might not be able to find. And I'm sure usually if they do allow any kind of modding to the game, people usually come up with some really good art mods for games, so you can see potential there for some kind of art mods. Although, I mean, these pictures are good. There's nothing wrong with them. Alright, so you can already tell that their Confederates are making some moves with ship icons here. See, I wanted to scroll right. You got to be like precise in the scrolling. So, what is the strategy that we are going to do? So I got these two forts, the Norfolk, and I might increase garrisons. And now you get into a mode, the zoom in mode. The mouse scrolling is a little bit slow, and I don't know if that's my computer that is acting slow with it, but so we have two garrisons here that I would like to actually reinforce. So you can we can reinforce it, I think, from here, or add units to the organization. They get recruited and they end up going there. So add new unit. So Massachusetts has a lot of volunteers. I think what's kind of a neat, not necessarily necessary feature, but a pretty cool feature is that you can change their uniform color. So if I wanted them to wear red, I can have them wear red. I think this might be kind of cool to help distinguish between either states, or even infantry versus cavalry, or different kinds of artillery. Right now with the infantry, We're going to go with the standard blue. Or no, let's be a little bit different. Let's try, I like this darker blue color. So that'll be my infantry. I'll probably change it up for the infantry, or for the cavalry and artillery. So let's recruit that unit. So they're in the queue. They will take 13 days to recruit, and they start out as a militia, but it'll be a strength of 750 men. And they will be able to reinforce what's there already. So the Monroe garrison has 1 artillery, which consists of 5 guns and 250 men. And I can barely read that on my screen, and I can tell it looks like on the TV screen it looks even smaller. So that's the Monroe garrison on I think that's the James Peninsula. So that's a good staging area. That is basically where I think McClellan it was a staging off point for his Peninsula campaign. So I kind of want to garrison that. I want to try to keep. I'm gonna try to fortify Norfolk if I can. So let's find the Norfolk garrison. Let's see, I feel like there's an easier way. See, now I wish you could just on this screen just pull up the army organization. Oh wait, that's Fort Morgan. Okay. I should be able to find it here. Okay, Fort Morgan. Let's add an infantry garrison to there. Let's get some men from Maine. Infantry, and we're gonna use this darker blue for I can't recruit. Recruiting not possible. Choose a state for recruiting and assure that enough recruits of chosen recruit type are available. What am I missing? Does that have to be 750 men? Recruits needed 750. There's only 600 or so in Maine available. Can I do reduced sized regiments? Or brigade? Okay, brigade. Brigade size 750. Weren't they larger? You would think the brigade would be larger. Alright, well, that's fine. Let's just recruit from New York. Alright, so we recruit and try to send them to Norfolk. And then why don't we speed up a little bit, get the game moving. Jefferson Davis inaugurated. Now I can right click off the newspaper ad, but these menu screens, I have to double click on the actual menu screen. music volume. So they don't. It doesn't play any music during the game. Alright, we can maybe reinforce these forts around Washington. Why don't we do that? Alright, so at least it goes... So when I click on Fort Stanton and I click on the military menu button, it goes straight to there. So that is kind of cool and very useful. Good design there, because if I had to keep scrolling through, that could get very old fast. We're going to recruit more infantry. Recruit. Fort Stevens. We'll recruit some Pennsylvania boys. I feel like I need to fire up some music in the background. Alright, well, we'll keep going here. Alright, let's keep going forward in time. Alright, so recruiting some units into these forts around Washington and Norfolk and Fort Monroe. Let's take a look at east or west, I mean. And again, if you are off just a little bit going left or right, it will rotate. So be careful of that. I'm actually hoping they... Oh, actually, if you stay on the bottom here. Okay, so it will go left and right if you stay towards the bottom here. So I thought it was going to rotate the other way. Davis calls for militia, 12-month contracts, provisional army form. So the Confederates jump ahead in recruitment. So those newspaper headlines, they do pause the game. I'm going to speed down because I want to try to recruit in Ohio, I believe. Any forts? Well, there's no army. Doesn't look like there's any recruitment centers or army structures around the west right now. Anywhere that I can... Fort Jefferson way in the Florida Keys. Well, if you double click it, it zooms right in. Oh, I forgot to, you can move your ships. So I should probably move some of my ships and start blockading them the best I can. I've got some ships over here near Long Island. This is the home squadron 11 ships, 119 guns. So why don't we move them towards the Chesapeake Bay? All right, so they'll start moving. And you can this map. This is the coolest idea. I mean, I hope it actually is functionally good. So far, I have no problems with it. Zooming in from this map down into zoom out, it starts to slow down the scroll speed. But that's fine. So let's speed up even faster. I'll zoom out and take a look at their movement. I noticed them trying to move something. Are they trying to move these units up north? That looked like a big jump in time there. Industrialization policy selected. Iron casemates for Confederate ships, so they're trying to ramp up their industrial capacity. Oh, paper map filters. Front lines. Ooh, this is cool. I did not discover this yet. Oh, there's music. Let's turn it down a little bit, though. I like it. Alright, so it looks like there's still some neutral territory. Virginia's still neutral. Okay, so North Carolina and Tennessee have not seceded yet. And neither has Virginia. So intelligence. Oh, how good is that? Just how good the intelligence net is? I wonder how that affects, let's say, workforce. Interesting. Trade and supply. Support. Oh, the Fort Monroe garrison has arrived. Sweet. So they're up to 1,000 men. Commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Justin Dimmick. See, there's a message here. Union issues $10,000 bond. And the rest of that is impossible to read. Okay. Should we keep adding troops to the Fort Monroe garrison? No, we're good. We're good with 1,000 men there. And The home squadron has full provisions, full ammunition, and full coal. Ooh, like the storm clouds. Fort Stanton Garrison. Let's keep adding troops to here. So I think you need, what, 750 men? Let's just keep recruiting from New York since they have the most. Let's do another infantry, and so we'll do, because these guys will, I'll probably eventually detach them from the garrison duty and assign them to actual armies. And let's do 3 infantry. Part of the fun for these games, especially when you have a nice OOB, order of battle editor, is designing your armies. So for the garrison right now, I'm going to try to do a 3-1 setup. So 3 infantry and 1 artillery. And the really cool thing about this, since you can assign colors to their uniforms, I can differentiate artillery from infantry. And we're going to do red jackets for artillery. Go kind of crazy there. And then the cavalry, I'll probably use maybe this light blue color, because I feel this was the standard, this navy-ish blue color here is the standard Union color, it looks like. Yeah, let's do red for artillery. Why not? Alright, so we just recruited what equates to your basic infantry division. So 3 brigades of 1 artillery section or battalion. Oh, and Hooker is Michigan State Militia. Hooker is the command of... Where is he? What can I do? Can I do anything with that? Oh, there's here on the bottom, it's manage army. So actual armies you can manage, but Erastus Hampton is the commander of the Fort Stanton Garrison. Alright, so okay, where's this? That's a supply depot. And you can barely make out. There's 48 horses, 7 uniforms, and 1 weapons. Alright, let's speed up. I don't think you create armies necessarily. I don't know, maybe later in the game you can. It looks like from my quick 15 minutes earlier today of playing, armies did just start appearing on the map. Alright, Grand Herald. Lincoln inaugurated. New cabinet to handle crisis. Buchanan leaves the office. Northern population calls for action. Okay, I have a Pendergast at destination. Okay, that's the commander of the home squadron. And what kind of actions can I take? Confederate capital to Richmond. Only 100 miles separate the two capitals. So they moved from Montgomery, the original Confederate capital. Alright, now why can't I click off the newspaper? Alright. Let's slow things down for a second. Only March 5th of 1861. What kind of actions can we take with the fleet? Fleet orders. Patrol. Blockade. We can blockade. The fleet will patrol the coast, intercepting any enemy merchant ships going to and from their ports. Alright, well, yeah, they will blockade the Chesapeake Bay Harbor area near Norfolk. I can switch them to patrol in case I see enemy warships. Alright, so we'll go on times 10 speed. So even at times 10, now it's moving fast. The timer down here, the bottom right corner, it's moving very, very fast, but it's going by the minute. So the game time overall is moving. That's pretty slow. That's a lot of game. Nothing wrong with that, but if you're looking to start the action, starting in March of 1861, there's not going to be a ton of action right away. So, although my enjoyment out of these games sometimes is the build-up. So I wonder when you can unlock... Okay, can I unlock this government funding policy? Agriculture. We can do industrialization. How long does that take? An industrial focus allows higher subsidies that support private corporations and heavy industry. This makes them more profitable, increasing the supply of goods and encouraging expansion. Industrial policies will allow new weapons and ship types to be produced in the nation's iron works and ports. It does not tell me how long it's going to take. There's also an auto manage option right there. Although I'm going to do this myself. I hope they change this so it gives you an estimated time of when that's going to be finished. It looks like it's progressing pretty quickly. Militia Act. Now I clicked on a magnifying glass icon at the bottom corner of this policy, and it turned into an hourglass. So it looks like I'm enacting it. And what it says here is the President of the United States has the authority to call in the militia to form the provisional army, but only if the nation is under attack. This act will allow the recruitment of volunteer units under a 3-month contract. It will be considered an act of war by the Confederacy and will increase the morale. Can only be selected after March 4th when Lincoln is inaugurated president. This will start the war. Well, it looks like I just started the war.
Secession, once taken, can never be recalled. We and our posterity shall see our lovely South desolated by the demon of war. Alexander Stephens, Vice President of the Confederate States of America. Chapter 2. The Demon of War.
We've got chapters. How cool.
The election of Abraham Lincoln, an anti-slavery Republican, as the 16th President of the United States was the last straw, triggering secession. One by one, Southern slave states declared secession from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America, led by President Jefferson Davis. This secession ignited the inevitable escalation, with fruitless efforts to still
I feel like I'm in a museum watching one of those like little documentary videos they do. It's well done. I really like it.
And the public is aroused to volunteer, to fill the ranks, to quell the rebellion, and to preserve the Union or to secure independence from it. Following open hostilities, President Lincoln's militia call for 75,000 volunteers for 3 months' service, sparks incredulous protest and loud outcry among the southern states. And these sparks set on fire the irreversible. More states secede. Now it's war.
Alright, so the war officially starts.
75,000, 100,000, and even more. Soon, the largest armies seen on American soil muster, drill, and prepare for war. A war that is to be neat, short.
Alright, I'm going to let the video run. I'm not sure exactly how much longer it's going to go. I'm grabbing a quick coffee. I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Growing and inexperienced armies. Without a swift and decisive blow from the very offset of the war, there's every chance of a long, confused, and disorganizing civil war, and even foreign powers may feel a desire to take a hand therein. The time is ticking for the newborn Confederacy. The Union must act. The demon of war has awakened.
Alright, and I am back. Got my coffee. Don't you hate it when you run out of creamer? Unless you, of course, drink it just black. I like my creamer, though. Alright, Civil War. Further southern states secede. Alright, well, a quick look at the policies. And we have British intervention is 16%. Policies and subsidies can influence the relation to European nations. Oh, I'm still going times 10. Let me slow this down a little bit. And you can see, it looks like Confederate flag with units now. I see more units. There's units in Columbus. Now I see some infantry counters on the board. There's the James River Squadron, 2 ships. I wonder how far the home squadron... how far they can go upriver. Because that's a blue... Ooh, what's going on in Fort Monroe? Union Invasions 1. Department of Virginia. So, is this what considered an invading force? We have Benjamin Butler. See, now I hope they update it with his. He's got a pretty iconic portrait. So I would imagine that would get updated, I hope. see the necessary for a generic icon there. But again, I know this is early access, so. New ironclad designs. Mass production of new weapon types. Alright, well, I want to add to the Department of Virginia under Butler. So you can see it created a department. So the game creates the department on its own. I wonder if you get the option that creates your to create your own. But I can add new units. Ooh, and then look at the volunteer ranks already. So why don't we go New Jersey, New York. Let's do an infantry unit. Recruit. It gives me the option to replace him right here. Okay, now the recruits needed for the an actual brigade is now 3,000. So that's more accurate. And I cannot recruit those. Pennsylvania. Oh, actually. Wait, I don't want to do that. Can I delete this one? Okay, I think, let's see if this works. If I take this unit and can I drag and drop him? No. No. What I really want to do is put the Monroe garrison under Butler's command. Department of Virginia, can I do that? Nope. Oh, here you can create new army, recruit a new army. Okay, so you can actually recruit a whole new army and build a brand new army. So that's cool. Alright, I still kind of want to figure out this transfer thing. Can I not transfer them until all these units are complete, maybe? Transfer between two units. Left mouse button to split the order of battle screen to transfer units between two organizations. When the game gets farther, this will be trying to scroll through might be a pain. Okay, I can only... Looks like I can only... Nope. Okay, left mouse button. If you hold it down... Oh, that worked. And then if I want to add that unit to... Yep, there it goes. So left mouse button, hold it down, then it pops out. There's that little pointy arrow down going downward, and you can just drag it right into there. If you drag it right into the army, it creates an entire new division. Alright, so that's how you can transfer between two organizations, which that is pretty cool. There's also this feature right here. You can take a look at the brigade itself. You can upgrade their weaponry. So if I wanted to give Fitzhugh's brigade better weapons, so we got the rifled muskets, effective range 400, 400. Mississippi rifle, effective range 500 yards, reload time, rate of fire, so better range but lower rate of fire. We can do, let's see, why don't we make these guys a breech load. We'll try out the new breech loaders that we got here. Can we upgrade? Yep, they got breech loaders. 10, rate of fire is a 10 per minute. Alright, we'll go to speed 2 right now. And then I have the flying flotilla of 2 ships and 9 guns. Let's see if we can patrol in the Chesapeake. Let's see how far the home squadron can go. I don't think they can go any further. It's not letting me move them. Now this, I don't know what this is, because it the tooltip does not give any information. Oh wait, I can move the home squadron up the Chesapeake more. That's good. I want them to patrol. Alright, what other squadrons do I have? Flying Flotilla, Atlantic Blockade Squadron, 7 ships, 110 guns. So, let's start blockading. Alright, so we have a couple armies here. Army of Shenandoah. There's a Grafton garrison. Army of the Northwest. What is going on in the far west? Anything interesting? I have units under Henry K. Ward, Fort Gibson garrison. I have Army in Columbus under McClellan. He's suffering attrition. He's in Columbus. Disabled men, 1,400? That's pretty harsh. Let's organize. I'm going to add to the Department of Ohio. Recruit. Let's add artillery. And then we're going to use the red uniform to signify artillery. Just because I think it's cool. And I cannot add... Cannot add another division. Do I have to... Does this have to be maxed out? Nope. Okay. I wonder what's limiting this department for only having one division. It says recruit new army. I don't want to do that. I'm wondering how realistic the battles are going to be. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of video coverage of the battles. They look more like a work in progress still. Yeah, they're gonna have to strike a fine balance when you. The hardest thing with these, and I feel like this is a very. Let me explain it this way. I feel like this game is a very aggressive and ambitious project because it's taking a grand strategy concept and a tactical concept and combining them. And not many games do it well. For all the criticisms that, let's say, Total War has, it's done a good job overall trying to combine a campaign and a tactical side. You get both, and you get both pretty decent. Now, but there's a lot of criticisms about how it's not. They've veered off a lot of the historic accuracies of tactical warfare in whatever time period that they're trying to depict. You can make a good arguments that the tactical battles in Total War are just not realistic, and for some that's a big turnoff. And then again, a lot of their their campaign games are kind of simplified too. But they're usually fun games. Even though I'm not a big Total War player anymore. I've really enjoyed their series of games. What are you talking about? Like in Total War, like kind of like in a campaign, kind of a strategic campaign, which when you study on the Civil War, you get there's a lot of maneuvering in the campaigns. A lot of Lee's victories have a lot to do with how well the generals maneuvered themselves into ideal positions for the battle. If you think about campaigns like Second Manassas and even Peninsula, the Peninsula campaign, Grant's Vicksburg campaign is a a study. All those strategic operational level movements you might be able to recreate in this game. That's what I thought you meant. That's good. You don't really do that on the Total War series. You kind of do because of their, I guess you could say, but it's very limited in scope. All right, so I got let's take a look at McDowell's army. So we got McDowell's army of Northern Virginia, or northeastern Virginia. So it's not yet the Army of the Potomac. That comes later with McClellan taking over that department. Alright, what do we want to do here? It is March 16th, so it's still early. So why don't we, how about this? Let's recruit for like a month. I'm going to do a bunch of recruiting, and then I'm going to, then we're going to try to figure out what kind of blow I want to strike. Alright, we're going to try to stick with like a 3 infantry brigade and 1 artillery brigade setup. Oh, why does it keep going to the Fort Monroe garrison? Yeah, I'm hoping this game too can depict the campaigning, because that's what, even like I don't know if any good Napoleonic game, but I think the Black Powder time period, that's a piece that's missing. Are the operational campaign type. Now you get some of it if you've played the John Tiller games. If you can play the campaign, if you play a actual campaign, not just the standalone battles, you can get a kind of campaign, but alright, sorry, I'm kind of fumbling around here. Alright, so I want to, okay, add new unit. Oh, I think I know maybe what I was doing wrong. Okay, Pennsylvania. Huh. Can I not add any more to that army? It keeps taking me to the Monroe garrison. Okay, I was able to move him there. Nope. It's very weird. Let's look at Patterson's army in Pennsylvania. I was able to recruit there, but I hit the recruit button, so I did something different. Let me go back here. So I want to recruit more to Mcdowell's army. Maybe I can't recruit any more artillery? Infantry brigade. Okay, well, why? Okay, let me do it that time. Okay. So his army's up to 16,000 recruits. Not all recruited yet. Patterson has 4,000 men, 3,000 disabled. let's build a depot. Maybe that'll help the. Maybe that will help the attrition. Maybe they're not. I mean, it says they're well supplied, so. Okay, so I was able to build a depot, and it. We'll see. I'll be right here at this crossroads. Patterson's man don't really look like those hard stacks.